Hi everyone, today I want to talk about social media addiction and the correlation that it has with mental health. This is something that I've personally struggled with for quite a long time, and it wasn't until recently that I developed better discipline around it. This video is going to be a combination of me sorting through my thoughts and feelings about this, as well as providing some tips, advice, and recommendations that I have utilized and I have seen garnish amazing results. Social media, to me, is essentially a branch with a bunch of other branches diverging off of it. It is a very complex subject. There's no doubt about it that it is ingrained into all of our lives, whether we want it to be or not. Obviously, there are people out there who do not participate on any platform, but for the most part, we can all say that we have some level of involvement in it. The first thing that comes to mind when I think of social media is how much your presence, your profile on any platform can inadvertently determine your worth. If you don't have a lot of followers, there is an automatic assumption that you're not cool enough. No one likes you enough to keep up with your day-to-day life. But if you have a lot of followers, you're labeled as potentially popular, famous, you might have pretty privilege, you have a talent. It is absolutely crazy how your follower count is attached to your identity in this day and age. There's so much pressure to build an audience. Even if you don't want to do content creation, you still want to have people keeping up with you, giving you attention and validation, because social media has instilled that into all of us. I don't have a lot of followers on YouTube or Instagram. Those are the two platforms that I use on a consistent basis. It can be pretty discouraging at times. I have to constantly remind myself that it doesn't determine the person that you are in real life, because at the end of the day, social media is a construct. It doesn't exist in the here and now. Yes, you can pull out your phone and you can scroll and you can post pictures and videos of yourself to showcase what you're doing. But going back to the followers, it shouldn't matter. Yet society convinces you that it does, which leads me into my next point, which is that monetizing your social media has become a possibility. This is a fairly new facet of being online, but content creation has really been brought to the forefront. And you hear of more and more people, regular people, not people that already were born into fame or already had a platform and made money in other ways beyond their social accounts. Regular people who work full-time jobs or do something that isn't considered in the entertainment industry. They're able to get online, post videos of themselves, go viral, and eventually make an income from it. There have been many creators that I've come across that have really built an audience and have been able to quit their full-time jobs and solely make content. And they're financially stable now. That's one of the pressures that I feel. I talk a lot about quitting my 9-to-5 and eventually making my full-time job YouTube and bringing in the income from there. But I don't think I would be so adamant and so pushy about doing that if I wasn't so aware of how many people online have been able to successfully make that happen. Do you know what I mean? It's because I'm spending a lot of time online and I'm hearing about it and I'm feeling the pressure. I'm comparing myself to other people. People have been able to quit their jobs, become financially stable from the internet, pay off their debt, travel wherever they want to, have time freedom, help their family out, buy a house, build a savings. The list goes on and on. Knowing that it's possible for essentially anyone in this day and age. It just really, really, really weighs on me. I feel that every day that goes by that I'm not posting, whether it be a YouTube video, a reel, or even a picture of myself, is a day that I potentially lost out on gaining more followers, gaining more views, gaining more comments, gaining more likes, overall becoming monetized. There have been many weekends, because again, I work full-time Monday through Friday, where I don't commit to making some form of content, whether it's short form or long form. And I feel that I wasted my time. I'm very hard on myself. I've always been very critical of myself because I have such high expectations. I'm a perfectionist. It's okay to have high expectations in certain situations and circumstances, and it's okay to want things to be the way that you want it to be and to put time and effort and creativity into various projects. But the perfectionism is also unhealthy because there is no such thing as that. And I'm striving for something that doesn't exist. It's constant noise. If you want to make money on social media, you also have to engage with other accounts. And that is another hurdle that I've experienced because I'm trying to lower my screen time, but I feel guilty if I'm not checking my Instagram or my YouTube, because that means that I'm not looking at anyone's stories, I'm not liking anyone's posts, I'm not commenting under anyone's posts or videos. And it has to be mutually receptive, right? You can't be a content creator and not engage and build connections with other people, because then you appear as self-centered, self-absorbed. Being on social media really can trigger my anxiety and depression. And if I'm already going through a rough time and I find myself on Instagram, YouTube not so much, it's more so Instagram, then it really exacerbates it. I'm going to be using Instagram as the primary example throughout this video because that is the one platform that I use besides YouTube and Reddit. YouTube and Reddit are much different than Instagram. And we all know that Instagram has been very prevalent for many, many people all throughout the world. It is neck and neck with TikTok with the amount of toxicity that it can spew out and the effects that it can have on a person's well-being. There are countless articles, statistics, and studies out there that have further proven this. I have contemplated many times deleting my Instagram account over the years, but the one reason that I never end up following through with it is because I feel that I'm going to be missing out. And on the flip side, I believe that others are going to be missing out on what I'm doing. If I don't post and I don't provide updates to the little following that I have, then everything that I do essentially will not matter because it wasn't posted. It only matters if you post it. You never did it if you didn't post it. That is what social media does to you. That is how it rewires your brain. Back in the day, before TikTok, Instagram, Facebook existed, before MySpace existed, no one cared. No one was thinking about this. Millennials are one of the last generations that grew up without social media. I'm a millennial, and I can vividly remember what it was like to experience a childhood without iPads, cell phones. Yes, we had desktop computers and laptops, but it wasn't what it is today, right? We used it to maybe browse the internet, dial-up internet back in the day, if you remember that. Maybe to play a game or to do something like write up a document. It's crazy. It really is. Gen Z, I sympathize with them. I really do. They have it tough because they don't know what it was like to grow up without any social media platform. It was pushed in their faces from the moment they came out of the womb. That's really the honest truth. Comparison is a huge factor of social media as well. Comparison is the thief of joy. Yet so many of us go on social media and do that very same thing. We look at a random stranger that we found on the Explore page, click on their profile, and start to look at ourselves in a negative light. Oh, I can't do my makeup like her. Oh, she dresses cooler than me. Oh, I wish I could afford that outfit she's wearing. Or even in our personal lives, we might follow people that we knew from high school or various jobs that we had or college. We see that they are getting married, having kids, buying a house, and maybe we're not at that point in our lives yet. It's really tough sometimes because we don't want to compare ourselves, right? We know that it's unhealthy and it doesn't do us any favors. Everyone is on a different timeline in life. But when people are going out of their way to post these accomplishments, they are seeking validation from the people that follow them. I'm very happy for those people, and I know that eventually I will cross that bridge when I get there. But it makes you feel as if you're extremely behind and you need to rush to get to the finish line. That is the best way that I could describe it. It's crazy because sometimes seeing posts like that convinces you that you want those same things. I'm going to use an example. I don't believe in marriage, and I never saw myself getting married. This may change one day if I meet someone that I feel a great connection to and we have a lot in common. But as of right now, I don't see what the benefits are to getting married. And a lot of that might have to do with having divorced parents at a young age and seeing other people in my family go through really tough separations or horrible relationships. I've been pretty firm on that since as long as I can remember. But seeing people that I know get married or engaged, it makes me feel that I'm not doing something right. You know, because I'm 30 years old and I'm still single. Everyone else I know is settling down, getting their house with the white picket fence. I'm allowing social media to control my approach to life. So I have to deliberately stop myself and say, you know what, Maddie, hold on. You don't want to get married. So don't worry about it. Don't make yourself feel bad for something that you actually don't want to do. Another facet of comparisons that I'm going to use an example for is when I would date someone, and these were people that I should have never have dated, okay? I've matured and grown enough to become aware that these were very toxic relationships. You live and you learn. But when I would date them, I would find myself what I like to call doing research, and I would go on their profile and see who they were following and who was following them. I would go on the profiles of the women that they were following, and I would find out that the guy I was dating was liking and commenting under their photos. And almost always, these women were more attractive than me. At least that's what I thought. I don't believe that anymore because I've been going through a lot of personal development and really working on my self-esteem and my confidence. And quite frankly, I think I am quite sexy, okay? I'm 30, flirty, and thriving. But when I was younger, I would do this, even a few years ago. And it would make me feel like it really would. There were thoughts going through my mind that I wasn't good enough. Why me? Why her? What does she have that I don't? I'm not worthy of a relationship. I feel disrespected because he's pouring his attention elsewhere. If you've been through this, you know what I'm talking about. And I'm sure many of you have. In a way, I am thankful for social media bringing that to light because you know what they say, the truth always comes to light. This is kind of going off topic here, but social media can really break down relationships. You've probably seen countless people go online and talk about how they found out that their boyfriend or girlfriend was cheating on them through social media. I mean, the list goes on and on with that. There are so many secrets that have been brought to the forefront through these various apps. People have so many options these days. Again, you can go on the Explore page and scroll through, and you're going to come across thousands of people. If you allow yourself to sit there for hours, you will. What I have to remember, and what I want you to remember, is that social media allows you to curate your profile and online identity to anything that you choose. You can pick your best moments to post. You could be going through the worst possible time, but no one is going to truly know that because, again, you can decide what you want to broadcast to the public. Granted, there are people out there who are very open and vulnerable and have no problem whatsoever exposing their private lives, but for the most part, you're only going to see the best memories and the best moments. With Instagram, you can delete pictures on your profile and create a brand new feed. You can choose the highlights that you want to keep up from past stories that you've posted. I'm guilty of it as well. I have revamped my Instagram profile many times since I've had an account. I wiped out and archived a lot of my photos, and at one point I had 0 posts because I wanted to start over and build a new identity. And it's ridiculous to say that out loud, but I'm a very analytical person. I know many of you can also relate to this. Sometimes I would look at a photo that I had taken and I would find a reason not to like it anymore, so I would delete it or archive it. I wanted my profile to be aesthetically pleasing and to look as if my life is put together. Something else I've noticed with Instagram specifically is many people will temporarily deactivate their account. I haven't spoken to all of those people that I've personally followed that have done that, but there is one person that I know currently that does that periodically and is actually currently off Instagram. The reason that he does that is because he needs to take breaks. Again, social media is extremely overstimulating. There is so much being thrown at you. If you're someone who already cares about your appearance, you're a target on there because that's what it's all about. Appearance. I really salute people who take breaks because they're prioritizing their well-being. And that is what is most important at the end of the day. Forget all this social media shit because you can't take it to the grave with you when it's your time to go. This is a first world problem. We put so much weight on our online identities. For what? It feels trivial to even be talking about this. It's all trivial at the end of the day. You know, social media is one giant competition. Everyone is trying to one up the other person. It's a never-ending game. And you're never going to feel fulfilled if you're living in that sort of mindset. It's very easy to get drawn into that lifestyle of posting to impress other people and to show that you're doing better than others. And on top of that, no one has the attention span anymore. That's why they created short form content like Reels and TikToks. Because no one has the patience to sit and watch long form videos. Even what I'm doing right now, I can guarantee you that I probably lost viewers 5 minutes into it because no one wants to sit there and listen. Recently, I was on vacation and I ran into a gentleman who used to be a top executive for Apple. He asked me what I do for work and I told him my job that is full time. And I also shared that I make YouTube videos and that is my genuine passion. He looked at me and nodded and he said, so you have to learn how to keep people's attention. I thought about it pretty in depth later on and I realized that's the best way to put it. If you want to be a content creator and build income online, then you have to keep people's attention. And that is extremely difficult and challenging to do. Heavy stuff, really. People want instantaneous results. I don't believe we would be operating in this fast-paced state of mind if we weren't using social media and it wasn't a major component of society. I want to share a statistic that I found online that is ironically from a website called Statista.com. According to a survey conducted in the United States in March 2024, 35% of adults reported that they had taken an extended break from social media because it was harming their mental health. Social media breaks are becoming much more common these days. If you already struggle with a mental illness, it is only going to aggravate it even more. I haven't been shy in admitting that I struggle with anxiety and depression, and that is one of the top reasons why I personally have to take many social media breaks, more than ever before. If I'm already in a dark headspace and I go on Instagram, my productivity literally goes out the window. I'm just sitting there for hours doom scrolling, comparing myself to other people. I'm on a journey of improvement. I'm in therapy. I'm going to the gym. I'm eating healthier. I'm journaling. I'm meditating. I'm doing things to feel good. And because of that, I feel I'm much more capable and strong-willed enough to have some restraint. The first way that I've been able to do this is by hiding my phone during the day. For example, when I'm working from home, I will put my phone in another room or in a drawer, keep my phone on vibrate, and only look at it maybe once in the afternoon and then for maybe 10 minutes before I go to bed. But I am even trying not to look at my phone before I go to bed. So what I've also been doing is hiding my phone again in the drawer in my room when I'm getting ready to lay down. It's actually easier for me to fall asleep if I'm not scrolling and straining my eyes. When I go into work, I also hide my phone in my desk drawer. I don't have my notifications on for Instagram. I do have them on for YouTube. I also have a Reddit account, but I actually deleted Reddit off of my phone and I only re-download it when I need to look something up. With YouTube, I like to keep the notifications on because I do make videos, so I want to know if someone comments. With Instagram, if someone DMs me, I'm not going to know unless I go into the app. And I find that to be very beneficial, and it basically decreases the temptation to check my phone all of the time. I've noticed when I had my notifications on for Instagram and I got a DM from someone, there was this urge to open it up right away and to look and respond. But now that urge is gone, and it helps me to be more deliberate about why I'm going on there. I don't know if you can relate to this, but I feel ever since social media became so popular that there is now this pressure and obligation to respond to a DM within the same day or within minutes. I will get a message where a friend will send me a reel or a meme, and I don't want to respond to it, but I feel guilty if I'm not giving at least a reaction. Now, a lot of that has to do with having depression and anxiety, because one of the symptoms of that is struggling to do simple tasks. A lot of people who have depression and anxiety will say that it takes a lot of effort to do something as uncomplicated as respond to a message. So I know that has a lot to do with that. But again, I just feel that social media is creating this pressure to be available to people at all times. I'm so proud of myself, you guys. I have been reading a lot more books. When I was a kid, I used to read 3 to 4 books in a week. Because I'm committing to these social media breaks more often, I've been replacing that with reading books, and it feels wonderful to do. I've been taking a book to the lakefront, putting a towel out, laying in the sun by the water. When the winter rolls around, I'm still going to make a conscious effort to go to a coffee shop or even the library and read a book there. It brings you back down to earth when you're reading a physical book. There are so many other activities that you can involve yourself in. Over the weekend, it is much more difficult to stay off your phone, but the way that I've been able to combat that is by running errands, going to the gym, hanging out with family, maybe meeting up with a friend, doing something outside, cleaning my apartment. I can honestly say that I don't have as much of a temptation to go on Instagram anymore. It's because I really, really, really wanted to make a change, and I think that is essential for anyone who is trying to get better at lowering their screen time. Something else that I didn't mention earlier that I find to be extremely helpful is being very particular about who I engage with and follow on Instagram. Last year, I suddenly had an epiphany and I realized that I had no reason to be following the celebrities that I was following. They weren't making me feel positive emotions about myself. And I know we should never look to other people to provide a sense of worthiness. I am now down to 3 celebrities. 2 of them are DJs. I realized that there was no reason for me to be keeping up with the lives of these ridiculously wealthy people that do not even know I exist and don't even care that I exist. I also have been viewing less and less stories. Even the stories can be triggering because you're seeing people that you know more often than not doing things that might be really, really awesome and you're not able to participate in it. But because I like to look at both sides, I also know that I have posted things that someone else might have thought was really awesome and they might have felt bad because they couldn't do it. You can't win in those situations, but with stories, I feel bad if I'm not looking at people that I know and what they're doing and I'm not giving them a reaction or responding to it. I have to do what is best for me, okay? And right now, I think it is best that I really, really, really limit how much time I'm spending on Instagram because Instagram is really the biggest trigger. I want to make more organic connections as well. We hear far too often that people make friends or meet their significant other on Instagram, TikTok, or even a dating app. I think there's something super special about meeting someone out in the real world, whether it be when you're out grocery shopping, at the gym, at a concert or a festival. It just feels way more worthwhile. One of the reasons that I don't use dating apps is because it feels very inauthentic. Something feels off about it. I can't get behind meeting someone that I swiped right on. I know people have successfully met their partners on dating apps, but for me, it doesn't work and I need an organic connection. I don't want that to be my last resort. I've used dating apps sporadically in the past, and the people that I've met on there, no. How could I forget this? I feel really compelled to talk about this and get it off my chest. You have to be thick-skinned if you want to be on social media. That can range from content creation to simply posting periodically. People can be very mean online. We see it all the time. Hate comments, trolling. Some people are solely on various platforms to criticize and cut others down. I have experienced it myself. A lot of those people are very miserable and they're projecting their insecurities onto you. I always say that, but it couldn't be further from the truth. You have that aspect, and then you also sometimes are being bombarded by news stories that are really upsetting, jarring, and could potentially induce anxiety and fear into you. So that is a whole other facet of social media that gives you all the more reason to limit how much time you're spending on it. But anyway, I really appreciate you listening to my tangents and my rants. I hope you resonated. I hope it helped you in some way. If you want to connect with me outside of YouTube, you can find me on Instagram. Ugh, I know. I talk so much about how toxic it can be. But feel free to find me on there if you would like. No pressure. All right. That is all I've got. Bye.